everyone! I recently watched Little Book Owl's channel and she mentioned a thing called the Tome Topple Readathon, which is taking place from the 7th of April to the 20th of April, midnight to midnight in your own country. And I thought that would be a really good idea to do because April is coming up. I've got a new TBR video due to be recorded and I wondered if I could incorporate this challenge into my TBR while also achieving reading a lot of books that I've gathered on my site there. So first up, the Tome Topple Readathon, like I said, runs for 2 weeks. So that's 14 days to get through some pretty hefty books. For the book to count as a tome, it must be over 500 pages long. And for graphic novels, you're allowed to count, like they call them bind-ups, where you have a collection of more than one volume of graphic novel together. Which could be interesting because a lot of my collections are actually only about 100 pages, so it'd be like 5 of those volumes would make up one. So I think that's how it works, but anyway. But you cannot do that for like novellas. You can't read a collection of novellas and say that's my 500 pages. That's not allowed. It's only allowed for graphic novels. The idea is to read books with over 500 pages in them. There are some challenges as well if you fancy really pushing yourself and going all out there. The first up is to read more than one tome, which in 14 days, yeah, that's doable. You can do at least 2, you know. The graphic novel, read 1. Again, in that binding form, so a collection of graphic novels together that make up to 500 pages. I'm going to accept that. Read a tome that is part of a series, which, when you consider how many big books are out there at the moment, most of them are part of a series, so I think that should be pretty achievable. Buddy read a tome with somebody. That could be fun. I'm having enough trouble trying to find my Fairy Loot buddy at the moment, so I don't know if I'll achieve that one at all. And read an adult novel. I know there are an awful lot of YA, particularly fantasy genre books out there that clock the 500 page quite happily. Sarah J Maas, I'm looking at you. But there are a lot of adult books out there that naturally hit the 500 page clock. Particularly the fantasy, the sci-fi and the historical fiction. You can kind of see where the theme of this readathon is pushing towards. There's a Twitter tag, at Tome_Topple. You can go follow them. There's also a Goodreads page which gives you suggestions on various books. And if you want to know any more information, because I'm rubbish at giving out stuff like that, I'll leave the link to Little Book Owl's video down below so you can go and check out her. She's got all the info and it's all great and wonderful because she's a pro. So based on that idea, I thought, okay, what can I achieve in 2 weeks? And having looked at what I've just picked at, this could be ambitious because I'm away in Scotland for one of those weeks. So I'm a bit limited by A, how much free time I'm going to have, and B, how many books I can get in my suitcase. So I'll have to see. So my books I've chosen are almost all over 500 pages. And they range from YA to adult, and I have historical to fantasy as well. So first up is The Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I've wanted to read this book for a little while since I found out there was going to be a BBC produced series based on the All Souls trilogy. And so I looked up these books and thought, actually that sounds like something I could be into. Bit of time travel, bit of romance, bit of historical with witches, and I just thought that really appealed. So I finally got my hands on a copy of it. I had to go and buy it because I couldn't find it in my local library. Ironically, they had volume 3 in the trilogy. I'm not quite sure why. And this book is 688 pages. So, you know, I'm already giving myself a nice hefty challenge here. And I'm ticking the box on the 500 page. So, I'll see if that's all. The second book I want to try and get through is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. This is the 4th book. My phone's ringing. Starting that again because interrupted phone. The next book I want to read is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. I've discovered my copy's actually got a horrible dent in it, which I'm really upset about. I don't even know how that's happened. I must have dumped a book on it somehow. Anyway, it's the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. This clocks in at 645 pages long, so again I'm well and truly achieving the target of 500 pages. So look forward to that one. So to fulfill the graphic novel quota, it could be fun because I don't actually have a huge binding of graphic novels. I don't like my graphic novels like that. I prefer them in nice slimline versions. So I'm going to read the first 5 volumes of the Fables series by, is it Ian or Bill Willingham? Well, yeah, I can't remember his first name. But I've got the first 5 issues of these. They stand at about just over 100 pages each, so I figured they would actually count. That's quite a thick one, so that would certainly cost me over. Here's Bill. And, I mean, that's a thick one as well. I really like the Fable series because they look at the fairy tale characters in our world and how they would integrate themselves to hide while also being who they are. So the big bad wolf is Bigsby, who is a private detective. They kind of twist who their characters are and their roles in the fairy tales into fitting into our world, and I think that's really, really clever. And that's the 5th one I've got. So that's going to count as 500 pages of a graphic novel. Now, bearing in mind it's only 2 weeks, I'm possibly already pushing it on what I've given myself to read, but I'll have to see how I go. I also want to try and get through Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I've just received this book. It's a nice looking, beautiful book, but I don't know much about it at all. I know it's a fantasy story and that's probably about it. And this one clocks in at 532 pages, so not quite as hefty as my other choices, but still, you know, it's a tome. If I get the time, bearing in mind that's now 4 I've picked up here, so yeah, I'm kind of concerned now, but I'm pushing myself and seeing if I can read War of the Roses, Stormbird by Colin Eagleton, I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's book 1 in the Choose a Rose series, which I've been wanting to read for a little while since I saw book 3 and 4 in my local supermarket. My library had this, so I'm going to have to read this sooner rather than later. It clocks in at just under 500 pages, but considering some of my other books are like over 600 pages, I considered that this would be acceptable because it's still a proper tome. This is still a hefty book, and I've already read over Well and Truly in other books, so I figured 20 pages short would be alright with this one. So that's a lot. I mean, that's 5 tomes in a fortnight, which is some serious hefty reading, and I doubt I'm going to get them all done in the fortnight. However, they will be in my April TBR pile anyway, so I'm hoping that I will be reading those over the course of the month, but those 2 weeks are like a focus for me to get through. So please, if you fancy doing the April Tome Topple Readathon, if you're really careful how you say that, please leave me a link. Let me know what you want to read via Instagram or Twitter or even through YouTube. That would be lovely. Again, check out Little Book Owl's videos. She's got more information on all the links, which I probably won't have all the links, but I'll put as many as I can down below. And thank you very much for watching. What's your favourite tome that you have ever read? You cannot count Lord of the Rings because it is 3 books in 1 volume, or 6 books in 1 volume, depending on how you look at it. So let me know. Remember, a tome is over 500 pages, which, as we all know, gets really heavy on the arms in hardback. Thank you for watching. Happy reading. Bye everyone.